today I'm going to be making some cabbage rolls. Looks really complicated to make, but it's really not that complicated at all. It's one of my favorite things to eat. There's a lot of variations that you can do on these. This is just the way I do it, so let's get started. Okay, so I've just got a couple of pounds of hamburger, maybe a little bit more. I don't really measure anything, so I mean, I've done this I don't know how many times, and I've never really measured anything. They always turn out good. So 2 plus pounds of hamburger. I always like to make sure I make plenty because they will not go to waste around here, because these things are pretty popular. So first I'm going to add a couple eggs. Okay, I'm back. I had to wash my hands after cracking those eggs. And then I just add some rice. That looks pretty good. Now, if you want to leave the rice out, you can do that. I know a lot of people are into the low-carb diet, so that's a alternative. You can leave the rice out. You don't really need it in there, but I like it in there. So then I add a can of diced tomatoes. And then I add some salt and some pepper. And some garlic, and I use salt, pepper, and garlic in a lot of my dishes. Those 3 spices are pretty tough to beat. Alright, now I'm just going to dig in. If you want to wear gloves, you can wear gloves, but you know, gloves are not a substitute for hand washing, in my opinion. Now the eggs in there, you know, they'll just kind of help hold it together, kind of like when you're making meatloaf. And just mix that up real good. Okay, so I got a head of cabbage here. I've already peeled some of the leaves off the outside, you know, the bad looking ones, and washed it off. And basically you just need to cut the core out. If you're not comfortable with a big knife like this, you can use a smaller knife, probably easier, but you know, I like to do things the hard way. Now basically, I didn't get all the core out of there, so I'll cut around. And really it's not that big of a deal. You don't have to get it all out of there, because you'll see when we get to it, it's really not going to come into play. Alright, just like that. Okay, so what I've done is I had some water boiling. Now you want to get the biggest pot you can get. But this is about, you know, I have a bigger pot, but I'm just doing it with this pot because I like it. So you want to be careful not to overfill it with water, because once you put the cabbage in, the water level is going to come up. So basically we don't want to cook the cabbage. We just want to get it to where you can peel the outside leaves off like that. You might have to kind of roll it around in there a little bit. That comes right off there, and you just put it in a bowl. I'm just putting it in a bowl on the side. You just kind of keep doing that until you you know, get it to where the leaves are too small to use to roll. Okay, so we got our leaves separated from our head of cabbage, and so you just take a leaf, and we got our hamburger mixture here. Just put it inside the leaf, and you just take it and you roll it up like that. And I'm going to stick them in the crock pot, and I'll show you that here in a second, but I'm going to finish these up and then I'll come back. Okay, so I got them all rolled up and I just stuck them in the crock pot, and I just, you know, pack them in there as tight as I can. If you want to, you can also do these in the oven. I just set them at 350 and cover them up, and make sure you put it in a deep pan because you're going to get a lot of moisture off this, but I would say in the oven at 350. I don't know, probably a couple hours, or check them after a couple hours anyway. And but anyway, here I just put them in the crock pot. I'm going to turn them up on high, put the lid on it, and just let them cook. I don't know how long this is going to take. I usually just check on them every once in a while. So when I get it done, then I'll time it and tell you how long it takes when I get it done. Okay, well, I've been cooking them for about 3 hours. I timed it, so now you know. They're looking pretty good. Cabbage is done, the insides are done. Looks delicious. Alright, so let's cut into one of these and see what it looks like. Oh yeah, it looks good. There you go, cabbage rolls. I learned this recipe from somebody I used to work for. Miss him dearly, and hope you liked the video. If you did, like, subscribe, all that good stuff, and always remember, keep it simple. Okay, so it's been about 3 hours. Oh, look at that.